So every time after shot, then we have to run to the higher place because we fear that the water will come again. Okay? And the menu every day is also very consistent. This morning is Indomie, lunch Indomie, dinner Indomie. So every single day is Indomie, or instant noodle. Okay? And we were so thrilled and we were so excited when a lady came to us and said, tomorrow we will eat chicken. Oh, finally we eat some chicken. And it's true. In the morning, we are served with chicken. But when I tried to bite, the meat was so hard. You can't even bite. You can't even put your teeth into the meat. Because the chicken, I think, was chased by the tsunami. So all of the meat becomes muscle, you know? You can't even take a bite of the chicken, right? So that was the period of time that I experienced that. But a week later, I found myself having lunch with Prince Albert from Monaco with a golden spoon and fork, with butler serving us wine, all the expensive food that you can imagine. You see the contrast of just eating something. Even the rice was gray in the victims area. The water that we have to drink was not even clear. But that was the conditions that I have to experience. But then a week later, I found myself eating right next to Prince Albert. And then a couple of weeks later, I found myself sitting with Rockefeller, David Rockefeller, and also his daughter, talking about projects. So what is happiness? And I learned happiness from a man, Aeneas, because I used to stay with his family, and every morning, even though we are staying in that box, Indomie box, every morning he sings. Every morning. He's very happy. I said, "Pa, why are you so happy? Can you see what the conditions that we are living in?" And he said, "I'm happy because none of my family got killed by the tsunami. I still have my 5 children. I still have my wife. I still have my parents." In contrast, what I've heard from Rockefeller's daughter, she has everything. She's traveling with private jets, but she's restless. She said, "I have to go to Africa next week." "Why you have to go to Africa?" "I need to go to Philippines. I need to do some projects. I need to help people." "What?" "Something missing." So what is happiness? And that, again, it brings back to me my understanding about rich. When I teach at SMU, I was surprised. Because when I went into the parking lot of that university, my colleagues asked to drive into the basement, and I looked around, and I was shocked. Because I saw a Porsche parked there, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Mercedes, BMW. I said, "Whose car is this?" "Student's car." My goodness. Is this a university or a showroom? I said. So yes, I mean, I'm facing a very well-off students, and they chose this subject of business creations and entrepreneurship. And I asked them, "So why you choose this subject?" And they said they want to be entrepreneurs. So I asked them, what's your definition of entrepreneurs? Businessmen, businesswomen. "So why you want to become businessmen, businesswomen?" "We want to be rich." So let me share with you the definitions of rich. You all want to be rich? Yes. So here are the ingredients if you want to be rich. Ben, can you please kindly help with your big hands to open the can?
I loosened it today.
Oh, thank you so much. Power was Okay, so rich, right? We want to be rich. Okay? To be rich, the first R is risk taking. You all need to be a risk taker. Are you taking risk this morning?
Yes.
What sort of risk did you take this morning? Wake up early. You woke up and you put your feet onto the floor. That's a risk, right? You don't know whether the floor is still there. Right?
Yes.
Even sitting here, we are taking risks. We don't know whether the ceiling will fall upon us. Right? So if you want to be rich, you need to take risk. Okay? Push your edge. If you want to be an innovator, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to take risk. You need to push the edges. Okay? Do not do same old, same old. Challenge your comfort zone. Okay? Either you are challenging your own comfort zone, or you will be challenged with the changing environment. So we are actually not very strange of risk taking. Okay? What is the I? Innovations. If you want to be rich, you have to be innovative. Okay? Thinking of something that's new, thinking that something that is different. That's innovative. Innovative not only for yourself, but of course, eventually, hopefully, you can also start producing something that's innovative for the society. Right? But being innovative, you have to do it, we all have to do it every single day. That's what makes life great. Okay? So I reflected upon these questions a couple of years ago. When are the moments that we are stopping learning? If you die, you stop from everything, guys. Come on. Right? But when is the time that we stop learning? So, I'm sharing with you, to me, there are 3 moments that you need to be aware of when we stop learning, because learning is the main ingredients for innovations. The first moment, we stop learning if we focus too much on ourselves. Okay? If you only focus on me, then you are blocking your senses for learning. Okay? And we need each other to do things. Okay? So that's the first moment when we only focus on me. Okay? The second moment, we stop learning if we focus too much on our problems. Okay? Then you are blocking yourself to possible solutions. Okay. Third moment, we stop learning if we allow ourselves to get stuck into routines. If you are doing same old, every single day, you are doing what we call mindless action. You do something, but it's mindless. You don't know. You're not aware of what you are doing and why you are doing what you are doing. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So be careful for those pitfalls, I call it. Yeah. Pitfalls that we are stopping from learning. Okay. So to become innovative, you need to be aware of those pitfalls. When we focus too much on ourselves, when we focus too much on our problems, and when we get stuck into routines. So what we have to be, an innovative scientist, an innovative entrepreneurs, we need to have the ability to break the pattern. Right? How? By stop and challenge yourself. And that's the first discipline of becoming a good scientist. A good scientist has the discipline to challenge his or her creations. Okay? Are you with me? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, what's the C sense for?
Character.
Absolutely, character. I call it can-do character. Because there is no entrepreneur, successful entrepreneurs in the world that doing something and successfully in the first trial. Okay? They always have the failure moments. But the question is, do you have the character to pick yourself up and try again? Okay? And let me assure you that the world ahead of us will become more and more challenging. Okay? So having a can-do character is very, very essential. It's very, very important if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. Any questions? Okay. So the most important factor of becoming a rich person is the age. Do you have any idea what the age stands for? Happy? It's a question how to add
Value.
positive value to society. Okay? Just look at the drug dealers. Are they entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they risk takers?
Yes.
Oh, yes. They take lots of risk. Are they innovative?
Yes.
Oh, super innovative. Right? They, I don't want to discuss about it. Do they have the can-do character?
Yes.
They put you in jail, they even do the trading in jail. Right?
Yes.
So, they must have a can-do character. But, are they adding any positive value to society?
Yes.
No.
So if you cannot add positive value to society, your business will likely not sustainable. Okay? So if you want to build a company, if you want to build a startup of the idea that you have, you need to anchor yourself, your thinking. Oops. Sorry. You need to anchor your thoughts and thinking into these questions. How do I add value or positive value to the society? Okay? So this is what rich definitions to me. You want to be rich. You want to be rich. Okay? R-I-C-H. Any questions? No? Okay. So, talking about science, what's your mind? What's in your mind when I say science? What does it mean to you? That word science.
Helper.
Anyone? What?
Helper.
Helper? What do you mean by helper?
It help humans.
Say it again.
It help humans. Help.
And what humans?
Help. Help.
Help. Okay, what else?
Observation.
Observations. What else?
Answer.
What else?
Biology.
Biology. Chemistry. What else?
To understand.
To understand.
Environment.
What else?
Living things. Environment.
Learning things
Living.
or living things. What do you mean by living things? What is science to you? It's very important to not understand only the what, but really understand deeper about the whole philosophy of science.
Simplification of human experience.
Simplifications of human experience. Interesting. Guys, science to me speaks about a process, speaks about a discipline, speaks about stages, or we call it process. To gain deeper understanding. Okay? Of course, the output for science is to help us, the society, is to guide us doing the observations. Therefore, it's a process. Okay? And for that science, it has some certain focus on certain area. For living things, we call it biology. Okay? For particle and atom, we call it chemistry. For forces, call it physics. You see? Those are focus area. But underneath the fundamental of science itself is a discipline of a process to gain deeper understanding. Therefore, you also have social science. Okay? And why we need science? Because through science, then we can repeat the same process for a different problem. Are you with me?
Yes.
So, Theory U, or a social technology we call it at MIT, was also conceptualized through a scientific research. Okay? And we've done the research for 10 or 15 years by interviewing great leaders and great teams. One of the teams from the research that I find it very, very entertaining and very fascinating were the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. Okay? Because they have created a history by winning how many? 7, 8, something like that, NBA titles, right? And they were almost unbeatable. Okay? So we investigate that. So we asked Michael Jordan, Scott Pippen, all of the team members. So what we call it as the best team performance. Okay? Best team performance. So when we ask, so how do you define Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls as your best team performance? When they are having that moment, best team performance, seems like their way of communicating is seamless. Michael Jordan, during the interview, said, I didn't even have to communicate verbally. I just throw the ball and I know my team member will catch the ball and then we'll put it into the basket. So much seamless that we feel we don't even think how we play. You see? The question is how to repeat this best team performance. That's when science comes in to investigate the sequence or the ingredients to keep repeating the best team performance. Are you with me?
Yes.
So that's the reasons why science is a discipline. Okay? So we hope we have also a scientist. Shobi is a PhD from Berkeley on majoring biology. So she's also a scientist. Am I making sense of what I said, Mrs. Shobi?
Absolutely.
So, what we hope through these competitions, that you start to understand the philosophy of becoming or using science in seeing the needs in the society, and you innovatively come up with a product or a service to address those needs. Am I making sense?
Yep.
Okay. So, okay. And so are you clear on this?
Yes.
Okay. So in the process of sequence of using science, later on you also need to work together as a team. Okay? Remember this very important aspect in working together. Communication. 75% of issues or challenges in many companies that relate to change process is about this. It's about communications. Do you guys have any idea what communication is? What is the basic concept of communications?
Understanding.
So in communications you have, we call sender, and we have receiver. Is it?
Yep.
Right? The sender will send the message, right? Then
Reply.
give feedbacks. Very good. So, as the sender sending the message to receiver, what does the sender must do? What do you have to do? What sort of process that he's doing?
Communicate.
We call the process of encoding. Right? You encode your message, then you send it, the message to receiver. And if the sender is encoding, the receiver is
Decoding.
decoding. Okay? And as the receiver giving feedback, he is encoding and this is decoding. Okay? So let me try to give you an example. Goedemorgen kinderen, hoe gaat het met jullie vandaag? Gaat het goed? Ja? We gunnen jullie om de competitie te beginnen.
Amin.
Wat zeggen jullie? Can you decode my message? I'm encoding it, right? I'm encoding my message, but sometimes we forgot that the receiver may not have the ability to decode my message. Okay? So this relates to teamwork. Okay? Later on, you will have to understand the principle of working together as a team. Some people, when I ask them, so what's your definitions of teamwork? Oh, they said, me team, they work. That's not it, okay? Teamwork, it doesn't mean me team and you work, right? Means working together as a team. Okay? So, in doing the teamwork, in building a communications, especially with you later on, working with someone that you just met yesterday, communications quality is the key. And remember, as you are sharing your idea, you are doing the encoding process, and you need to check whether the receiver could decode your message. Even so, the encoding and decoding process is up to the sufficiency level. We also have in this process what we call noise. Right? So, the message that you encode, do you believe it will be 100% able to be received? No. We have noise. Like for instance, as I speak to you right now, there may be some constructions working activities outside and it may like this. It's a noise, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? And usually this is for boys, right? When you are hungry, your listening capacity is not as maximum, right? Especially for men. I can speak that because I know it's my own experience. Don't talk to a hungry man. No use. Give them some food to eat, then you start talking, right? That's what I call biological noise, I call it, and environmental noise. Okay? So make sure, as you are later on work as a team, make sure you're aware about your communications quality. Okay? Suspend your judgment. Lastly, just last one. I have so many things to share with you. I can talk all day. Remember, I'm an ATM, right? Automatic talking machine. So, how to have a healthy team? Remember that there is, for an healthy team, you need 4 roles. Okay? This one is movers.
Okay.
The one that give idea, suggesting some initiative, right? And you have followers. Okay? Followers are those who enrich the ideas, add on, build on. Okay? Then you have bystanders. Bystanders are, do you understand bystanders? No? When, like in Jakarta or in Indonesia, when there is an accident, boom! What do you see? Lots of people are watching, right? Penonton. Bystanders is penonton. People were just watching. Like, do you like soccer?
Yes.
Yeah? Who is the most loudest in the soccer game? The penonton, right? Oh, mestinya oper ke sana tuh, right? Somehow the penonton is much smarter than any commentators and any football experts, right? Because we are seeing the game from a big picture. That's what bystanders is. His role is to give and view feedback on the big picture, and usually their inputs are very valuable. Lastly is, we call it opposers. Now, opposers are those who are taking the role, not killing the idea, but challenging the idea. Yeah, there is a difference between killing the idea and challenging the idea. Okay? Are you with me?
Yes.
So I have to touch base very, very carefully on this role, because many people perceive it differently. Oh, I'm an opposer, so that means I have to kill it. I have to kill the idea. Whatever you say is no good. No. That's not the ingredients to have a healthy team. So, you may want to assign or consciously design within your team. So who is the movers, who are the followers, who are bystanders, who are opposers. So let me try to get your feedback. So who are the movers? What's the role?
Giving the idea.
Giving ideas, producing some new fresh ideas. Those are movers. How about followers?
Supporters. Supporter.
Add on to enrich the idea. Okay? How about bystanders? Not watch, but to give a broader view. Right? Have you considered this? Have you considered that? So that's usually what the bystander is doing. Have you considered from this point of view? This is what the bystander is doing. How about the role of the opposers? Challenge the idea. Okay? Usually, what we suggest, as someone who's taking this role, I like this idea, yet I still see that we need to Okay? It's like a motor car. You have the accelerator, gas, right? You have the coupling, the clutch, and you have the brake. Otherwise, the whole car will go into the ravine. You go crash. Okay? So that's how to have a balanced team. Are you with me?
Yes.
Any questions? So the key is that you as a team are consciously operating and assigning someone to take certain role. So you are keeping moving forward in creating something. Okay? Okay?
Yes.
Show me how much time I have? It's 5 minutes. So, any questions? I'm just trying to be aware of my time. And be mindful that as you are going through these competitions, right? When you receive the challenge, do not immediately react. Treat the challenge as the scientist, right? Define the issue. Okay? Understand the challenge clearly. Okay? Second point. Understand the why. Why this problem exists. And remember what I shared with you last night about the iceberg model. Okay? Don't only look at what is apparent to you, but try to investigate deeper. Okay? Number 3, identify key stakeholders. Like the example last night about the bus stop. So who are the stakeholders? The drivers, the passengers, who else? Government, who else? Street vendors, right? Handicap, those are also key stakeholders. You need to think beyond the usual. See? The extraordinary from the ordinary. So challenge your thinking. Okay? See underneath who are actually at the edges of the systems. Like bus stop, you also need to think beyond the ordinary. Think of the children who also needs to use the bus stop. Think about the handicaps, the special needs people who also need public transportation. Right? So that's what I mean by identifying key stakeholders. Then identify the needs and ones. From the whole problem that or challenge that you receive, which stakeholders that is the most important? Okay? Or the most least served, I call it. That's the reasons why we have the challenge. Okay? Then think of the concept of your product or service with value proposition. You know the challenge that you were given last night about the bus stop? We have managed to also address that at MIT Urban Planning Department. Okay, you know what we tried? How to give additional economic value for passengers to stand at the bus stop. We are working with MIT Media Lab, and Shobi met the professor, right, from Sandy Patland. Everybody has the smartphone, right? So what we have identified through our research, that how can we get more economic value for passengers to wait or stand at the designated spot to wait for a bus, because that spot is made not because out of the blue, why don't we just put that? No, it was designed by the whole urban planning. So what we do, we think of a smartphone and we build an app. Okay, and in the bus stop we put sensors from. We work with telecommunications provider. So whenever someone is standing in the bus stop, that app will get a certain points that they can trade with some vouchers. Incentive, value, economic value propositions. You see? So people are, I have more reasons to stand in the bus stop because I want to get some incentive of why should I stand at the bus stop. Same thing with the drivers as well. We work with the public transportation company. So we put sensor at their bumpers. And also the bus stop, we put also sensors. So when they stop and they open the door, the driver will get certain points. And it will be incentivized in his monthly income. You see? So you need to think of economic value propositions. Of why people want to do what you want to do. And remember, okay, the iceberg model, that you need to redesign the system so that you can see a change in patterns of behavior, and therefore you will see a different event. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Any questions? Before I continue until like...
At 6 p.m.
20 more minutes.
So, any questions, guys? So, we want to make use of the time. I think I need to pause here, right? Yes, Roby, I know. Thank you. No questions?
No.
If there's no questions, then I think we should go for a break.
Yes.
Yeah? Let's have a tea break. And after break, Ibu Sri will share about presentation skill. Okay?
Well, presentation no-nos rather than skills.
What?
Presentation no-nos.
No notes?
No's.
Oh, okay. So, thank you so much for your times and your attention. So let's have a break and continue having fun. Okay?
Power with the
One, two, three.
Thank you.